Welcome to Teen Up, a podcast that digs deeper into the thoughts of teenagers' minds about the wonders of the world.
If you're new here, I am your host, Isabella.
And I'm Glenn. If you're not, welcome back.
Here's a quick disclaimer. If we made any mistakes, please email us and tell us. Thank you. Parenting does not stop when the kids turn 18 and leave home. Family is and always will be a very important part of a person's life. This week, we will talk about parenting adult children.
So, adult children, it's like a term that I found online.
Mm-hmm.
I think it basically just means adult or, young adults, like us in a way.
What do you mean? Wait, okay, when I first saw adult children, I thought you were like referring to kids who have to take care of younger siblings. Like, like they actually have to act like an adult to their younger siblings.
No.
Okay.
It's not what it means.
Okay.
It basically means that your children has become an adult.
Okay.
So it's like that person's an adult, but you still think of them as your children. Because, of course, that's not going to change. It's like, it's not going to be like you turn 18 and you're suddenly not somebody's son anymore.
Yeah.
Or daughter.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to discuss a few points on how to improve your relationship with adult children. Obviously, we're not parents.
Mm-hmm.
We have not been through that.
Yeah.
And there is no way we have children that are turning adults. So the first thing that I found online, it's like from other people's experiences.
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing is use your wisdom. It's basically saying that your children want you to guide them through their adult life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I think this point that this article brought up is very interesting, is that sometimes these adult children, or like just people in general, like people don't want to get passive aggressive advice.
Like what?
It's like sometimes you give an advice to somebody, but you're actually telling them to do that.
Oh, okay. Like manipulating, sort of.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Or like guilt tripping.
Uh-huh.
So say you're saying like, oh, you're such a bad son, you don't spend time with your mom anymore. Or like stuff like that. Or just like forcing them to read something or watch a movie that is actually something that you want to tell them.
Yes. Okay, so I personally have a lot of siblings and they're all adults right now. I mean, I guess they're all adults. I'm an adult. Like my eldest sibling is he's my brother, and like my parents wouldn't like do any of this, but yes, I do see that whenever they talk on the phone, my mom would give my brother a lot of like advice in life on how to, talk to people or like how to socialize with like professors. She's basically just giving him advice on like, yeah, you said adult advice and how to lead a life like an adult. And yeah, I could see that happening.
And I feel like it is not just for adult children. I feel like all of these tips that I found, they are not limited, to older people. Say people in their 20s or in their 30s. It could also like relate to us, like younger children, whatever. And I was reading this book, and in the book, this character, she wants to do art, but her dad doesn't want her to do art. So he keeps giving her these advices like, oh, you should find your path or something like that. And then on Christmas, his gift to this girl is a book called like Finding Your Path or something like that. But this girl knows what she wants to do, but her father doesn't want you to do.
Mhm, mhm. I think that happens really often, and it's like oh, it's kinda like I don't know, I also think that this situation only happens in movies. I haven't, like, seen anyone actually go through this. It's like, with their sexuality and thing, your parents would, like, give you advice on, trying to if you're, like, gay, they would say, like, "Oh, why like, don't you see, like, what's attractive with this girl?" or something. Kind of, yeah, passive aggressive way of sharing advice, yeah.
Uh, yeah. It never really happened to me in real
Mhm.
life, but in movies, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So the next one is that you need to respect them for their decisions. And I feel like it's kind of all along the same lines of, letting them make their own choices.
Mhm. Mhm.
Because like in the past, like stories that I read from this therapist,
Mhm.
she wrote a lot about, her cases or things that she has went through.
Yeah.
And I think one of these, common ground is that they all have these family trauma like in the past,
Mhm.
to, different level, or their relationship with their family is not like great.
Mhm. Mhm. I think, like, this respecting each other's, like, choices in life is super important. Like, again, I do totally see this in my personal life as my siblings are all older than me, and I see how they interact with my parents, and yeah, sometimes they would interfere with their life choices, whereas I think it's totally okay for them to make these choices by themselves. I don't like sometimes I just don't understand why my parents would want to interfere with such decisions, but if the child could accept such interference, I think then it would be okay.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of Monica and Friends.
Oh my god, yes.
Like, her mom would just like micromanage everything that she
Mhm.
wants to do, and like she's always not satisfied with these decisions.
Yeah, like and her being like a chef and everything.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that I remember very clearly this one episode that she wants her hair, a certain way. And her mom keeps like brushing her hair behind her ears, I think.
Really? I don't remember such
It's
episode,
like
but
very early on in the show.
uh-huh, uh-huh.
And I just feel like it's this type of little things that will,
Mhm.
that will damage a relationship
And I think
between.
it's yeah, I think it's super important to be able to trust your child with making decisions in life after they're an adult because basically you've taught them how to make a decision when they were small, right? You told them to like look at the pros and cons and stuff like that and in order to make their own decisions and seeing that if you're interfering with them deciding on big things like maybe buying a house or something you're thinking it would make the child think that you don't trust them enough or that you don't think that they're mature enough to do such things.
Mhm, mhm.
So, yes, respect is super important. And I think for like the adult children, they also have to respect their parents' decisions, even though now that they're adults and they get to, understand their parents' situations. It's still important to have the same respect back.
Yeah, and it really connects to the next one, which is boundaries. So
Hmm.
I would say like you need to set a certain boundary. Like
Hmm.
you wouldn't really interfere with their work or uh who they're dating,
Mhm, mhm,
because that is none of your business anymore.
mhm.
And not to say that in like a terrible way, but I just feel like in general people have to be on their own eventually.
Yeah. I mean, that's why parents have to teach kids, right? In order to let them be their own selves.
Mhm. But I mean, you still like share these type of things with your family just
Mhm,
because they're family, but I would just say like don't make it very toxic in a way,
mhm.
because sometimes I feel like I've seen a lot in like movies or like books. It's like how parents want them to marry someone,
Oh my god,
of
yes,
their,
that classic example,
yeah, yeah,
yes.
yeah, like in their social class, or people they No, or like the same nationality.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
And then
Mm-hmm.
they would get like super obsessed with it.
Mm-hmm. And I think also not just that, like there are also movies about, you know, how parents are super obsessed with like their children's weight.
Mm-hmm,
Like
mm-hmm.
I don't know if this like I've never seen a movie that talks about this with like adult children, mainly with like kids with around like 16, 17. But I think it's super important that adults don't give children like the feeling of that they're not skinny enough. And the fact that they're adults right now, it's even more important because it's really like, yeah, like you said, none of their business anymore.
Yeah. And you kind of mentioned it, like no judgment is another point.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it really is important to not judge people. And I
Mm-hmm.
feel like it is true, not only for like adult children, but also for younger kids.
Mm-hmm.
I think in the past episode in Gentle Parenting,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like no judgment is sort of a point of gentle parenting as well.
Mm-hmm. It's like when I think no judgment is really one thing that parents should give children because that gives them that makes the children feel like they're in a safe space, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, kind of like what you said with gentle parenting, because gentle parenting is a lot about creating a safe environment for their kids to grow up in. And this should be continued even when they're in their adulthood. Having like judging a kid is just, I don't know. Okay, so it's like when your adult child comes back from work, like comes back home from work, and then they tell you about their day, and you like tell them about how you liked this coworker or you don't like this coworker, or like what happened during your day at work. And I think your parents, like, because it really isn't their business anymore, I think it's super important for them to just listen instead of, you know, say like, oh, you shouldn't say something about your coworkers,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
or like say the way that you're like treating your coworkers isn't correct or something like that. I think it's just important to know that your kids just want someone to listen, like someone that they could talk to and just listen.
Yeah, and I feel like it's true even for like teenagers, not to
Mm-hmm,
like,
mm-hmm,
if it's not like they say they want to like stab someone, you know, with a knife.
Okay.
I would say like it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
At least don't be so quick to judge,
Yeah.
because I feel
Yeah.
like that would really like damage the trust between people.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if I say something to my friend, say Isabella,
Mm-hmm.
if I tell her, "Oh my god, I just, blew all my money
Mm-hmm.
that I earned from my summer job on a new pair of shoes." Okay.
Sure.
This is definitely not true.
Unlikely, but sure.
And then she starts judging me. She's like, "Oh, why don't you put it in your savings account, or,
Uh-huh.
go invest it in stocks or something like that?" Not that
Mm-hmm.
you should, just example.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would feel like, well, I'm just trying to share this thing with you. Why do you have to start lecturing me on this other thing?
Yes. Yes.
So then I would feel like I don't want to share this with you anymore.
Yes.
So next time I wouldn't tell you about anything. I would just, tell you about little things that doesn't matter, or little
Oh
things
my
that
God.
wouldn't get judgment from you.
Yes.
So I would say like it's just the same across people.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
it's not like you couldn't judge people. I would feel like it's a wrong statement to say that you should not judge people at all,
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes there are things that people should know,
Yeah.
like blowing all of your money on a pair of sneakers.
Mm-hmm.
That is definitely not something good.
Yeah. Like, even if that person did that, like, like, your comment could be like, oh, you must really like that pair of sneakers. Like, if someone's willing to share that piece of information with you, just take it. Like,
Yeah, I mean, you can take it and then tell them later, or you can say something like, "Oh, you must really like that pair of sneakers, but like, how are you gonna pay for your rents next month?"
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Say so. Yeah. Just like, yes. I think, okay. I totally just agreed with whatever you just said. Yes. I feel like it's really important to really just listen sometimes instead of giving, like, talking about your own opinions and ideas when someone
Mm-hmm.
is talking to you. Yeah.
It reminds me like this line in The Office.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if it's from The Office though. It's like when there's this scene where these girls are teaching a guy how to listen to other
Mm-hmm.
person, and they are saying like you need to, respond, and you need to make a sound of listening, and this
Mm-hmm.
person say listening doesn't need sound, and it just kind of makes me think
Mm-hmm.
about it. It's like, yeah, sometimes you just need to listen and stop talking.
Yeah, that's super important.
Yeah, so I feel like judgment is definitely something very important, and it all ties
Mm-hmm.
in with the respect and boundaries that we were talking
Mm-hmm.
about earlier.
Yeah, for sure.
So after the break, we're gonna talk more about parenting on adult children.
Now we're gonna talk more about the relationship between parents and adult children.
So the next one, or like the next big theme
Mm-hmm.
is letting go.
Yes.
So letting go. I feel like it is very, very much related to what we're going through right now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, I think parents have to learn to let go. Like, I guess I'm taking this like too personally. Like this episode is just too personal to me, but like I think letting go is super important because your kids are growing up and it's not like you're gonna hold their hands even when they're 50. So, like you said, right now we're 18, we're going to college. It's super important that our parents learn to let go. It's like sometimes my parents still have trouble with me like just leaving the house. It's like it's
Mm-hmm.
okay for me to leave the house. I'm 18.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God,
But
yes. I feel like a lot of parents around us, not my parents necessarily,
mhm.
they have such a hard time just even letting their kids out of the house.
I know.
It is crazy. It is literally so crazy that I cannot understand.
Mhm.
Like they would need to micromanage everything that their kids do.
Mhm.
And I cannot voice this, Um, it's like they need to know where their kids are going, who they're going with, and what they're doing.
Mhm.
And the person's going to be checking up on them 24/7. They cannot stay at a friend's house for a sleepover. I guess like some parents do that, but it just doesn't really, I don't really understand that.
Mhm.
So there's this person in our class, and we were
Mhm.
working on a project together.
Mhm.
And he was like, yeah, his mom is not gonna let stay after 9, even though we have the project. We need to get it ready the next day. And the thing is like 70% finished.
Mhm.
So we have to like work all night on it. But he has to
Mhm.
leave at 9. And
Weird.
I just could not understand. And at that moment, all I was thinking is, what is wrong with your mom?
Mhm.
I mean, no disrespect, but you're not there making out with a girl,
I know, yeah.
You're not there having fun, playing, Nintendo Switch with your friend.
Mhm. Mhm.
You're working on a project that is due
Uh-huh.
the next day and it's not finished. Like, what do you expect? How do you expect this thing to be finished?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I feel like it is a thing about responsibility that you are not, letting your children know that if you, didn't finish this thing, you would have to work really late on it. And
Mhm.
you're gonna find a way to finish it
Mhm.
no matter what. But now you're saying, okay, you're gonna be leaving at 9. So at 9, you're just gonna get out of there and other
Mhm.
people's gonna take care of it. So you don't need to
Mhm.
worry about it anymore. And I don't feel like
Mhm.
that is the right attitude.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's not just like in this situation, I wouldn't think it's just the parents' fault. I think it's also I mean, yeah, I guess a little more on the parent side because they're giving like this expectation to their kid that they have to get home before then, right? And yeah, it's just not great to leave the rest of his responsibilities to the rest of his group mates.
So I just feel like in general, it will make this person really hard to work with.
Agreed.
And, it is not going to help when this person is leaving his home. So all of our class is going abroad to study. And I just find it hard to believe that this person's parent cannot even let them stay out for one night. And this person is going abroad. So I asked him, like, this is ridiculous. Like, you're going abroad next year in 12 months. And your mom's not letting you stay out till 10. Like, how is that going to work? And he told me it is possible that his mom is going to college with him.
Oh, hold on. That was just a total plot twist. Hold on. Oh, wait. Wait, what? Okay, interesting. So
Not like she's studying there, but she's going to be like,
Avi
move there. And
live in the same house?
I wouldn't say like the same house, but like
how is he able? One thing about college, parents should never be around their kids when they're in college.
agreed.
I I think that is the one like super important. It's super important for the kid to leave the house for college because in college people do crazy stuff, and with parents being there, you can't do anything. And if you don't do anything in college, how is it possible for you to grow as a person and make actual friends? Okay, so it's really difficult for you to grow as a person and for you to learn how to take care of your own life and of all of the responsibilities like paying the bills or going to the bank and just taking care of your whole life. Like with your parents being there in the house with you, they're going to get groceries for you and basically you don't have to do anything. But if you live by yourself, you're able to handle all these things and really understand adulthood better. So I think it's super important that parents don't live with their kids in college.
So I wouldn't say like crazy stuff, like manageable failures. You know what I'm saying? Like,
what do you mean?
You would do things that are dangerous, yes, but deadly, no. That's gonna put you in jail? Probably not.
Hopefully not.
Probably not.
Yeah.
So it's manageable. Is it responsible? Probably not. But I feel like it's something that everybody goes through. And you should not deprive your children a chance to do that.
Yes. I totally agree.
So that is why I think it is so crazy that this person's parent is moving with him across the globe to college. I mean, if you live in the same state, different city, I guess that kind of is okay.
Yeah.
But probably not. Probably in the same city, probably gonna visit every Sunday. And I feel like we kind of get off the tangent a little bit here because we're talking about like adult children. But I feel like it is an extension of this. Because you need to, at some point, let go of your children and let them do their own thing. And just let them fail.
Yeah, I know.
So, back to letting go. This mom needs to learn to let go.
Yes, I think a lot of parents, I mean, still, not letting go is for sure a sign that their parents love their children very much.
Of course.
And, overprotection is just a sign of love and a lot of worry. But it is super important that still, if you love your child, let it grow. Like, if you don't let go, they're not going to grow and they're not going to...
Let it grow?
Yeah, no, and let your child grow and just let them live their life and understand what the reality is instead of you protecting them from everything, from all the harm that they might get. Because either way, your kid is someday going to have to face the reality themselves. And you might as well let them face it while you are still there to, mend any terrible mistakes or anything like that.
Well put. Well put.
Yeah.
I guess that's like a very extreme example. I feel like at some point you should let your children go. And if you don't, they're gonna not be able to do things on their own. And
Mhm.
I feel like at a point that you're, protecting your children, you're also
Mhm.
taking away the chances that they socialize with other people. And I feel like it is very important for this parent to know, wait, no, this episode's not about that person. No, just kidding. But with all seriousness, this very extreme example, it kind of is a warning to people, I guess.
Okay. Yeah.
So after letting go, that was so serious. So after letting go, you're gonna have to find something to do. I feel like this is very interesting that you need to find your own interest.
Oh my god, I agree.
Because I have in the same book that the therapist that I talked about wrote
Mhm.
that these older people after their kids start a family, start doing things on their own, they do not know what to do, and they're
Mhm.
afraid to get into new things. They are afraid to chase their dreams that they had when they're young.
Mhm.
But this is probably something that they need to do.
Mhm. I feel like this is totally super important again because like my family struggles with this. My siblings are growing up and we are leaving our parents' side, and they sometimes just don't know what to do with their weekends anymore. Like my mom keeps saying like, "Oh, after you leave, I don't know, like my calendar is going to be so clean and there would like my schedule would be so free and she wouldn't know what to do with all that free time." And I think it's super important for her to find her own hobby. Like I think this, yeah, like you said, all same with all these parents who don't have to take care of their children 24/7, and it's just like finding a new balance.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Like without your kids, because that was your kids was the balance in your life for 20 years. So like your parents' main goal in life and balance are the kids, and that lasted for about 20 years, and now that poof it's gone, like they don't know what to do anymore. And yeah, I think it's important if like your parents have this trouble, it's important to remind them that maybe it's time that they could, finish whatever they wanted to do
Mm-hmm.
and complete their bucket list.
So, parenting is always going to be something that is hard. No one is good at it, even if you have
Mhm.
like many children, because every experience is different. Everyone is
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
But you just need to remember that if you're facing difficulties, you can always like reach out to other people. If you're feeling depressed, you can reach out to a mental health professional. You can
Mhm.
go get therapy. And just remember that you're not alone in this journey.
Thank you for listening to this episode.
We will upload a new episode every Thursday.
Remember to like, follow, and share our podcasts with your friends and family. You could also share your idea and thoughts with us on our Instagram at teenup.podcast.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share our channel.
Thank you
and
and bye.